traditions, you mentioned like the stone is like the grandfather. And
Mhm.
and so I'm kind of curious when it comes to sticks and stones, you can take any angle, direction you want with it, but would you be willing to share anything about that with me?
Sure. So like I said, there's the differentiation of animate and inanimate objects.
Mm,
And so when you talk maybe to an American, a stick is probably inanimate because it fell off a tree and it's dead, or what they say dead. A stone would be an inanimate object to many people. But in a traditional sense, that's all animate. Those are all animate objects, especially with the stone. If you think of the stones, we call them grandfathers because they follow a different life cycle, much longer than a human life cycle. For them to even surface as a stone, how many years in the earth did it take for them as a grain of dust, or however they have come about? It's a different life cycle for them, and with that longer life cycle, all of the things that they've experienced, that one stone, and what it's been through or has experienced. Could have been here during for when people crossed the Bering Straits. It could be have been here, during different conflicts or during different different eras in the area that was found. Um, so that carries a lot of knowledge. That stone, and again, you treat it like a grandfather, an elder, somebody who has a lot of knowledge. It's just you have to ask for it and be open to it. The same with a stick. A stick, I think you would need, and this is my own personal perception, with a stick because it came from a living form, but now is considered not living. You would need that que, that life giver to use it, and your students and yourself harvesting that stick and using it for exercise. You're giving that stick life. It is life, and so just to remind people that those are living things that demand respect and care. When you take those things, you are responsible for them.
mm,
You don't just put them, off to the side and take them out whenever you need them. It's like it's a living being, and you wouldn't do that with another living being. I would hope not. um, you know, uh, in harvesting them again, we have to stop and just slow down and look not just at that one particular stone, but look at it and where its place is in the environment. If I take that stone, what is that stone doing in that environment? And if I take it, how will that environment react? Is it okay? So you need to ask, not just that stone, but everything around it. Is this okay to use? And what I do with the plants is I let them know, and I'm fortunate that I can grow them. And so even at their seed stage, when I'm planting them, I let them know this seed, I'm using this seed to grow for food for my family. I need this seed for nourishment, or I need this particular plant because I want to use it to reduce fever because there's um, a virus that is ravaging our community, and we need this medicine. And so letting these plants know this is what their purpose, or this is what we want from them. So they know what you just pick something, and like if someone just plucked me from where I'm at, I'm like, well, what's going on and why are you doing that? At least then the plant knows and can tell you yes or no. Again, reading that environment, reading the plant, listening to what they have to say. And if they say yes or no, they may say no. And then you just being respectful of that, oftentimes, oh, I'm going to pick on your class. I need a stone because, Daniel said we need a stone for class. I have 10 minutes till class. I'm going to just grab this stone. it's better just to not have the stone because you really didn't have the time. Um, just caring for those types of things when you're taking. And I think when you're taking anything, you just need to ask permission, and let that being know what they're being used for, and why they are so important to remind them. Because I think I regard everything from the plants as medicine, the plants we eat, the stones, the sticks, as life, and they're sacrificing their life for us. And so we need to be respectful of that sacrifice and use it wisely, and acknowledge that that's what they're doing. It's a sacrifice. One of our teachings is to always ask before we take. Don't just take, always ask. And remind yourself that if the answer is no, then it's no. And maybe ask. Sorry, there's a mailman coming. Sorry about that. Silly dogs.
Okay.
They're gone. He's gone. And only take what you need. We're not. We've never had stockpiles. We've never planted to have a stockpile or to have to store. We really only have planted or have hunted just for our own purposes for the short term. We've never really, our ways are not to stockpile. And I think that was one of the conflicts that we had with the Europeans that came. It's just, we never had that type of accumulation. That was never our ways. It was always just take what you need for now. And if it looks like maybe there's just a couple of stones out there, then don't take it. Just don't ever take more than what can be handled from that environment. And you talked about mindset. So we have those jingle dresses at the gallery, and whenever they need to be moved or touched or whatever needs to be done, we need to be very cognizant of what our mindset is, because that is medicine. And so if we're in a bad mood or we're rushed or we're angry, we don't touch it. We find someone else to do it. It's just a slowing down, I think, is if you wanted to put it in one term, it's just to slow down.
Yeah, slow down. That's a good one. And is there, like, as far as, let's say that, well, first of all, it sounds like what you've just said, amongst a lot of brilliant things, is you've mentioned the importance of caring for the object or for the stick or the stone or whatever it is. Are there ways um, from your traditional background of maintaining the uh, energy, for lack of better words, or the potency of a particular tool? Does that kind of make sense? Would you be able to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think just knowing the material you're using and how to keep it clean, physically and spiritually, keeping that energy going. Again, just making sure there's a balance. A lot of ways that we use to balance things is through smudging sage. So I would smudge things. And then one of the responsibilities we have when we harvest is, and I think that goes to anything, it's a agreement between yourself and the thing you're harvesting. You are agreeing, and the plant or whatever whatever it may be that you're harvesting is also agreeing to this contract, I guess, for a better term, of you taking that or harvesting it, but you agree to maintain that life, the life cycle. So for plants and for animals, when we use for food or for medicine, we are harvesting, but we are making a promise that we maintain, we allow their grandchildren to live. So I would plant a corn plant and harvest that. And then I would not eat all of the corn from the harvest. I would save some of the seeds to plant so that the next generation is allowed to live. And you can do that with animals, with plants. For stones, it might be a little different. For sticks, might be a little different. But what you could do is where the area you took that from, you harvested from, making sure that it's still a healthy area. And then also when you're done with what you have, putting it back.
Mm.
I think that would be a good way to maintain that relationship and that agreement that you made with that when you harvested. It's not just give. It's
Can I
it's not just take. It's give too.
Yes, yes, like the